Good evening.
Good evening.
Apologies to the guys that are in the lobby. Didn't realize my PlayStation mic was still on. But welcome to all the guys who are currently have joined us on the live stream. Thank you very much for joining us. Why is that still there? That needs to now go away. So it is now officially gone. So if you have just joined us, we are currently I'm getting the feedback. That's all sorted, done. Sorry. No weird things will be happening anytime shortly. But welcome guys, it is round number 5 of our Porsche Sprint Cup. We are currently going to be racing at Brands Hatch. 2 heats here this evening of 20 minutes. The first heat is done in the afternoon, and the second one we do a bit of a night race. So the race does get nice and dark, and it definitely does change the track surfaces as well as the tire pressures. So guys are definitely gonna need to have done their practice. We do have 11 drivers racing here this evening. Currently watching Jakes, who's got himself out on a lap. We've got Memo, Armand, Ronaldo, Mafira, and Duncan, who's riding under hull 666, with his machine still having overheated a couple of weeks ago, so using his wife's machine. So we can see that track temperature 27 degrees is the ambient temperature, with a 36 degree track temperature, so a little bit high. And I heard in some of the practices the guys are struggling just a little bit with the tires, that they were starting to just overheat a bit. So Jakes, he goes and gets a time up of a 128.8. We can now jump down to Armand in the golf type colors. Very nice looking. I do quite enjoy that livery. Mafira, he's also on a lap. James and then Duncan. So we'll watch Duncan going past. So it looks like he's now currently on a flyer. We can jump down to Armand as he gets ready to cross that start-finish line. So 3 seconds off the pace currently. Tyler, he's now on a lap. So we'll keep an eye on him to see how he performs here on this 1 lap flyer. So guys, if you are on the stream, just let us know who you're going to be supporting here this evening. We do always like hearing from our fans and specifically know who they're supporting. And we do stream directly through to both Facebook and YouTube. So James now crossing the line, so he will now be on a flyers, gets a little bit sideways going into turn number 1. Tricky little corner there, as you can see it starts going downhill. So as you get that car turned in, the front of the car is always pulling away from you. So you've got to be very careful there and make sure that that car has turned in before you start getting onto the power. Gav Pig, now he's coming out of the pits, and we see that there is a car who's currently on a hot lap. So Gav gets out of the way there. Morris, he's now going through Druids, getting himself ready to do a flyer. So I see Chase Ghost, he's there cheering for Rafiki. Chase, how's it? Hope you're well. You still need to come and race with us, rather be racing than watching. We can check in with Rafiki. He's now currently heading towards... got myself confused there, so he's down at the bottom of the circuit there. Well, last corner in fact. So he'll now cross the start finish line, and he is 3.9 seconds off the pace there. So Atti in the pits, and it looks like there's been quite a few drivers that have gone out and haven't been able to get a time up. So Marius now, he's coming through the last corner, and he crosses the line to begin his flying lap, or little kick of the rear, with him going to Paddock Hill Bend. Now into Druids, he'll then go down Graham Hill into the Graham Hill Bend. Tyler Scott, he crosses the line, he goes second quickest. A 2.877 is the gap there between himself and Jakes. Gavpik out on a flyer, as well as Atti. He's now leaving with 1 minute 45, so he hasn't really left himself too much time, but I'm sure that will be enough for him to get a lap in. Through Surtees goes Gavpik. He'll now head up towards the Pilgrim's Drop, then down Hawthorne Hill. Running a little bit wide on the exit there was Gav, that you can get nice and tight up on the inside of that curb through the first of 4 right-handers. So we'll just jump to Morris as he approaches the start-finish line. He goes quickest with a 128.5, that is 0.3 of a second up on Jakes' time. We can drop down to a Gavpik. And in the practice early on is that there were 3 drivers within 0.3 of a second. Gavpik 1.1 seconds off the pace of Marius, and a 0.6, was that 0.7 of a 0.8 of a second off Jakes. A jump to Atti, with him coming through a Clark curve. We'll get onto Brabham Straight and across the start finish line, and Atti will only now begin his final lap. So this is currently all eyes on Atti. That is meaning that Memo, Robert, Ronaldo, Mafira and Duncan all did not get a lap in. So it will be a lucky dip for them on the start. And you'll see that 12th position, my name is there. I was just in the lobby just so I could chat to the guys for the driver's briefing. And it's always good to have a nice looking pace car sitting in the pits. And there it is, the blue and green SARCO colors. So far all good for Atti, but I don't think that he's left himself enough time, because there's only 15 seconds left of the session. So I think Atti has got this all wrong. He only left himself 10 seconds when he crossed the start finish line, and that is it. That is the max time. It is now done. So he's not going to be able to get a time in. So Atti now pulls to the side of the track, and obviously realizing that something went awry there. He wasn't able to get that time in. So now with the end of the session, we're now going to go into the first heat, That is a 20-minute race. It will be held on the Saturday. So the track will still be slightly green. It won't be optimum. And we'll see how the guys are able to manage that this evening. So I have pushed the wrong button. So Atif looks like he has found himself in 7th place, so not all is lost. He'll just have to be patient and bide his time to work his way through the field. So 10 seconds to go before the start of this first heat here of the SARCO Porsche Sprint Cup. I'm just trying to get back out to the garage, but it won't give you that option just yet. So we are currently on Ati, but hopefully we'll be able to get a nice shot of turn number 1 as the guys go down the hill.
Green light, go, go, go.
So that is the green light, and we are now currently racing here at the Brands Hatch, round number 5, and we do have Marius running very wide going into turn number 1, and that's now released Jake's out in front, and I think that is Tyler who's currently in 3rd place, and Armand, he was in 5th, he's now moving himself up into 3rd. Well, apologies, that is Gav Pig. In shot, that is Tyler Scott there. He's now currently in 2nd place. Ooh, going very, very hot there into Surtees. But now back up the hill, and Gav is starting to pull himself a little gap. And we can see down the order, Jake's down in 9th place and Marius in 11th. It is all a single files now as they head through the back of the corner through Dingledale. Lots of curb being taken by the 3 drivers out in front. And we've got Ati started in 7th place. He's got himself up into 5th and putting quite a bit of pressure on James, who is currently in 4th place. So Armand in 3rd. James in 4th, Ati in 5th, Duncan he's in 6th place with Jake 7th, Robert 8th, Morris moving his way up the field. He was down in 11th place, he's now up into 9th. Lafera, he's in 10th place, Ronaldo 11th, and Memo in a 12th position. So lots of action happening all over the circuit. We got Jake starting to put a lot of pressure. There's a car on the outside. I wonder if that was Tyler Scott. No, that wasn't. So that must have been James. So it is saying that James is in 2nd place, which means it must have been Tyler, because there he is now down in 7th place. So the 2 guys using the same livery has definitely just confused things just a little bit. But now we've got Duncan who's in third, and he now has Jakes chasing him down, and Marius up into fifth. So Marius moving his way up the order. So Duncan, our British international, is going to have the two silverback drivers right behind him, hunting him down. And Gav out in front, 5.7 seconds is that gap between himself and James. Then 2.8 seconds is where you'll find this battle. So now towards Surtees, Marius looks like he is closing up onto the back of Jakes now as well. Tyler moving up a place. He's up into 6th place with Ati down in 7th. So it looks like James might have made a little mistake, because that 2.8 seconds is now down to 1.1. And still a loss of congestion further down the field, and that is Armand. He has been chased down by Robert, he's been chased down by Mafera, he's been chased down by Ronaldo. And that looked like there was contact going into that corner. The camera just hadn't changed fast enough. And Robert's going off the circuit there. So while that battle is happening further down the order, we can jump back, because that is the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place. It is James being pressured by Duncan, who's being pressured by Jakes, and there that number 70 in the background, that is Marius. So Duncan having a little look to the inside through Surtees. Will he be able to get the drive out as James runs a little bit wide? Jakes follows him. And now it looks like Duncan is in a little bit of trouble, because now he's going to have Jakes on his inside as they go into Hawthorne's side by side. Is Duncan and James. And James now looks like he's had a little contact there between himself and Jakes. And this little battle has now brought Tyler and Ati back into the mix. And Jakes looks like he lost the rear there, and Ati connected him coming around the corner. So it looks like the biggest loser there out of that was unfortunately Ati. And somehow James has been able to hang on to that 3rd place, which has now put Tyler up into 4th, Morris in 5th, Jakes down in 6th, and then Ati in 7th place. Armand is chasing down Ronaldo. Half a second is the gap there, and that is the battle for 7th, 8th, and in the background there, the purple and green, that is Mafera. So it looks like Ati has had to take the retirement route there. So he's now in the pit in 12th place. Morris now having a little show on the back of James through Hawthorne's. That was where it all went down the previous lap. And it seems like Tyler, he was in 4th place. There's been a mistake there, because now Tyler's dropped down to 6th. And Tyler is still chasing the back of Jakes there. You can see two very different lines there. Jakes a little bit wider, Tyler hugging that curb on the inside. But it does seem like Jakes is starting to pull a little bit of gap. He did get a good exit coming out of Sterling's. So we'll see the gap. There's currently 0.04 of a second, so it's not 0.8. So Jakes is definitely starting to open up that gap between himself and Tyler, who's in 6th. So Marius in 4th, starting to get ever so closer to James, but James holding his own here. And very quietly out in front is Gav, and you can see 14.5 seconds is the gap there. Oh, big moment there for Tyler. Apologies, not Tyler, that is James. Came out of the corner, out of Surtees, and that car just went completely to the right and banged up against that outside barrier, which now has put Marius up into 3rd. Jakes is now in 4th. And there's James running wide, just managing to catch it. Just about coming back on the circuit, and I'm sure Ronaldo's heart just stopped for a moment there. But James is going to be down in 7th place. Tyler up into 5th. Ronaldo in 6th. And now it's going to be the battle to see whether the Silverbacks are able to close up on Duncan once again. Marius has 1.8 seconds behind Duncan, as Marius gets very sideways. So to those who are watching and you have access to the Discord, if you do want to come and watch from the Discord itself and come and I'd say have some conversations, you're more than welcome to come and join me. I will get the screen up so you're able to see, and I do always enjoy whether there is somebody in the commentary box with me or not. You're more than welcome to come and join me in that Discord. So now 1.4 seconds is the gap between Marius and Duncan. Apologies, Armand in 7th place. He's now got James behind him, and it looks like there was 3 cars running wide there. It looked like they were started by Tyler. Armand followed, and then James was right behind him. See those black lines coming off the rear of James's car when he got that power on, coming through that last corner. Again, just touching that curb, loosening up the rear corner, but a little look to the inside, and James has managed to sneak one up there. And Armand now down into 8th place, James up into 7th. Marius now within a second behind Duncan. And I must say, Duncan having the drive of his life here, being able to keep Marius at bay as Marius has a big moment. He bounces up against the wall on the inside. It looks like he'll let his teammate Jakes go around the outside. The 2 Silverbacks definitely looking a little worse for wear there this evening. But now it will be up to Jakes to go and chase down Duncan there. Currently the race leader Gav Pick out in front by 17.2 seconds. As he runs wide, will he be able to keep it off the wall? Yes, he does. Big moment there for Gav, and I'm sure that he's been absolutely perfect up until the time we came and watched him as he gets very loose again. So wonder whether that's the effect of the tires now starting to overheat. 7.25 minutes left to go of this race. Gav been waved the slower car in front. but there isn't a car within the couple of let's say 20 to 30, maybe that's probably even 50 meters, no more, man. That's probably a 200 meter straight. It's actually not important. So Morris starting to lose some time between himself and Jakes, and you can see just coming through Hawthorne Hill, just clipped that outside curb, and the car just over rotated and forced him straight to the scene of the accident. Cameraman Tim doing his best, and as we jump to James, we see him getting that all wrong. So James having an absolute disaster of a first heat here. He really is battling to keep that car on the track, and I think that he's gonna call it. Oh, he's got just under 6 minutes left to go. Will he be able to soldier this home? But that's now put Arman up into a 7th place. So James now taking the route into the pits. And will this be a retirement, or is he going to try and get some of that damage fixed? Just saw Duncan's blue and black Porsche just sneaking past the top of the screen there. And we see him now going into the last corner. 3.097 is the gap between 2nd and 3rd place. We'll see what that is with less than 5 minutes left to go. So 3 laps. And Duncan has run wide going into turn number 1. That's going to put Jakes right up behind him now. That gap was 2.6, so Jakes was able to find 0.4 of a second on that lap. And car number 99 is going to have to dig very, very deep here if he's going to want to hang on to the 2nd place, because he is in danger of being overtaken, not only by one as that car snaps on him. Oh, that was definitely a lag moment. It looked like that car had just snapped and that rear had locked up and was just about to force him off. And just as I wanted to jump to Memo, it looked like he lost the rear, because he was in the middle between Mafira and Ati, but now we see Ati, who was in 10th place. He's now ahead of Mafira. So whatever happened there has now changed up the positions. Ati has swapped with Mafira, and Memo has now dropped down into a 10th place. So we did miss that, and that is exactly what I was talking about, that Duncan needs to be careful, because now we've got Jakes and Marius both ahead of our British international. And I have a very sad looking Chase who's just walked into the room realizing that I'm using his machine to stream. It's okay, my Chase, we will play in the morning. Can you bring me some water? Thank you, boy. So Duncan is wide again. Ronaldo up into a 5th place now, and I'm sure that Duncan is going to be absolutely gutted. So this is currently the battle for second and third place. And Marius now within a second of his teammates. So see Rudy Basel's join us and say this is an awesome track. Rudy, I cannot disagree with you anymore. I do not like this track. I've never been comfortable on this track. So if you say it's awesome, you can keep it to yourself. Thank you. So 1 minute 20, Gav on lap number 12. And Ronaldo is now putting a lot more pressure on the back of Duncan. 1.1 second was the gap when they crossed the start finish line, so we'll see what happens just as they go down towards the Graham Hill bend. When they cross the sorry, just before 30s, they'll cross the split time and you can see 0.9. So Ronaldo is going to have one lap. Sorry, my Chase. Come sit here with me. You can watch some racing with me. Come. So Mario is still 1 second behind Jakes, and Ronaldo 1.2 seconds behind Duncan. Oh, and as I say that, Ronaldo getting it very, very loose, and he's now going to have Tyler and Armand closing him down at a rapid rate, because Gavpeg has crossed the start finish line, so there will be one more lap. And that was an absolutely spectacular spin as Ronaldo, that rear let's go, forcing the nose to turn in quite drastically. So those tires are going to be overheated, as he needs to just watch his entry speed here into turn number 1. So make sure that car is settled. You can see it just snapped up on there. I kind of expected that was going to happen. So Ronaldo from 5th place down into 7th, which now gets Tyler up into 5th and Armand into a 6th position. So Gav, race leader. He now comes around Clark Curve for the last time in this heat. A flash of the lights there as he crossed the line to take the win. Followed closely, I'll say closely, but it's quite a way away, a couple of seconds there. As Memo getting turn number, the last corner. Very wrong again. That's Clark Curve. So Jakes comes home in 2nd. Morris is in 3rd. Duncan, an absolute brave effort there for him. He's going to finish in 4th place. Tyler Scott in 5th. Armand will come home in 6th place, which means that he will be starting from a pole position for the next race. Ronaldo, a disappointing 7th. He had the opportunity there to get himself up into 4th. Mafira will finish in 8th with Memo in 9th. Ati retiring, James retiring, and Robert retiring. So guys, if you have been watching on the stream, please let us know what you thought about that race. Lots and lots of action, lots of positions changing. It looks like the tires were definitely a factor there. So just getting a message there from James. It wasn't that he retired, he had actually disconnected. So that's very unfortunate there for James. I do hope that he is able to get back for the next race. So guys, we will be back. This is now the
Green light, go, go, go.
the second qualifier. So the guys will just have a little a 10 minutes, a little 5-minute break now, just to make sure that they all understand where they're going to be starting. The positions are up on our Discord. So Armand, he will start off in first place with Tyler second, Duncan third, Marius in fourth, Jakes in fifth, Gav in sixth place. Then it will be Ronaldo seventh, Mafira eighth, Memo ninth, Ati in 10th, James in 11th, and Robert down in a 12th position. So guys, if you do want to just go grab something to drink, we will be starting in the next 4 minutes, and I will be back then.
Scum, if you can hear me, on this, you're going to start in first position. So as soon as the race starts, go to the first position, and don't drive too slow and let our tires get cool. Keep a nice pace, and just before you take that last corner, before that main straight, let everybody get in line, and as soon as you cross the line, you can go. All right. I don't know if you can hear me.
I've got it. Yes, got it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you know the door. So you're gonna do a full lap. Okay. All right.
So guys, we are back. 20 seconds left to go, and we will be racing. It is the second of the heats this evening, and we will be now racing at night, which definitely it does change the braking markers for the drivers that were using the boards that were on the side of the track. It does make it a little bit more difficult now to see those braking markers. And if you're using some sort of mark or a curb or something on the track itself, now that it's nighttime, that too can change because you just don't see it coming when you expected it to. James is giving us, or that's Romaldo giving us a little flash of the lights there. That doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be 8 o'clock at night and it's sunlight. Very, very strange. Well, I guess the driver's going to be very happy with that, but you can see the track temperature, 24 degrees. So that definitely has dropped a little bit. I say a little bit, but that's actually a 12-degree drop in temperature. Track is optimum. So the guys will need to be frantically just making those minor adjustments to those tire pressures. And hopefully that they will get that in that right operating window, because that tire that is not hard enough will not heat up, and you're generally driving around with some cold tires, and those that are overinflated will heat up quickly but might not get to the right temperature. So we need to follow our race leader, who is going to be Armand. There he is, who looks like he didn't get out the pits in time.
I don't know what happened there, but I'll just start at the back. It's fine.
Yeah, it looks like you didn't push drive in time, and that's what had happened.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll go from the back. Cool.
Oh dear.
Maybe I can catch up because I can go now.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. So there we go, we've managed to get all the drivers into the correct positions. Just going to have a look. So we'll have Armand in first place, Tyler second, Duncan third, Marius fourth, Jake's fifth, Gav in sixth. Then it goes Ronaldo, Mafera, Memo, Ati, James, and then Robert in a 12th place. So I'm just looking at the starting lineup, and we don't have James, so I'm not sure if he had some issues trying to get himself back in. So Armand will now just back the pack up just a little bit, just to allow everybody to bunch up. And once he gets past the start-finish line, the race will be go. So that it is a race on, and our race leader Armand goes into turn number 1. Oh, a little bit of a moment there for Marius. It looked like Jake's up ahead had a little bit of a lag moment, but now Gav Peg has been able to get around him. He's now Marius has got 2 drivers chasing him down very hard, and that is Ronaldo and Ati. Ati able to get himself up the order as well. See that he's got himself ahead of Memo. And Tyler Scott putting a lot of pressure on Armand very early on in this race. And Duncan in 3rd place. He's been chased down by Gav already. And it looks like we've got Jakes who's got stuck on the side of the road there, and he's no longer in this race. Oh, big sideways moment there for Armand, who now releases Tyler Scott out in front. Duncan now up into 2nd. Armand able to hang on to 3rd place. But now Gav Peg is on there, and it looks like there was a little bit of a tag at the back between Duncan and Armand, just cutting across the track quickly to try and not get taken out there by Memo. It looks like they were just too close, and Duncan just getting on the brakes a little bit earlier than Armand had expected, and just a little touch of the rear was just enough just to push that car around. So Ronaldo now up into 4th place, Armand down into 5th. Tyler, he's now out in front and got Gav Peg chasing him down with Morris in 2nd, then Ronaldo 4th, Ati, Armand, Memo, Robert, Mafira, and then Duncan. Well, change of positions there between Duncan and Mafira. But Ati taking a much better line going through Hawthorne. So he was able to close up on the back of Ronaldo as Ronaldo runs himself a little bit wide. He's going to open that gap, but Ronaldo able to just carry enough speed just to try and close that door. But Ati now goes through. Ronaldo touching the grass on the outside. He's unfortunately not able to carry that speed anymore. So there's that confirmation, the change of positions. So Ronaldo is now going to be dropping down into 5th place. We've got Armand in 6th, who's now getting the pressure from the chasing beaver. And that is Memo. So Armand runs wide. Memo's also a little bit sideways. But Memo will be able to carry that speed through. We're going back up the hill towards Druids Corner. So Memo now up into 6th place. Duncan, he's now moved himself up the order as well now, having got himself ahead of both Robert and Mafira. And has Ati made a mistake because Memo is now up into 5th. But Ati's going to have a look. There's not going to be much space there. He just lets Memo sneak out ahead of him as they go into Hawthorne. Ati taking a lot of curb there. You can just see how that car was bouncing over the curbs. Well, sideways moment there for Memo and for Ati, and Ati up against the barriers on the inside. So Ati now going to drop down into 8th place behind Duncan. And out in front is Gav Big looking to put pressure on Tyler, but as we cut to him, let's see, running himself a little bit wide. Oh, in the background there, that's Ronaldo. He's gone wide. So Marius now in third place. He'll have some time now, some clear track as Gav runs very wide. Tyler goes off the track as they head down the hill into Graham Hill. No, that's out through Surtees. So Marius going through the little puff of smoke. Gavin cutting a lot of curb on the inside there. I wonder whether that would be just a little warning. Say, Gav, you can't take that much corner with you, son. If you have just joined us, this is currently the race, the second heat here in the SARCO Porsche Sprint Cup. Tyler Scott is out in front, being chased down by Gavin. We had Gavin winning the first heat, followed by Jakes in second. Marius finished third there. Duncan in a fourth. Tyler in fifth. And then Armand in sixth place. And the longer that Gav is behind Tyler, the quicker that he's going to allow Marius to close up. And now it looks like Gav is trying to go around the outside. Will he be able to make it stick through Surtees? Not going to be able to get that drive because he had to get that car slow down a little bit more to get it rotated in. But now they're going to be side by side heading down Hawthorne's Hill. Is Gav got enough space on the inside? So Gav has been able to sneak a move through there, through Hawthorne's. Great move there. But now he's going to run himself wide, and Tyler is going to have a look to the inside and come back. So Tyler now goes through again as they head up to Sheen Curve. And Amara's right back in this, now back into Sterling's. Tyler leaving that door open, enough space there for Gav to have a look. Tyler's now going to be on the inside for Clark Curve. And Amaris is going to, looks like he'll follow Gav around the outside here. So halfway through the race now, and Gav is going to try a move around the outside into turn number one. Tyler riding the curb on the inside. Marius follows Gav. So Tyler's going to be nice and tight here through Druids. Gav decides to tighten up that line and follow Tyler through. Now through Graham Hill Bend. Gav is on the grass. Marius follows him. But it looks like Marius will have an opportunity to have a look through Surtees. Not close enough just yet. And that releases Tyler out in front a bit more. So a bit more breathing space there for Tyler. And big moment there. That is Duncan, who's gone off, and Armand has gone through with Ati right up behind him. Ati's going to have a look on the inside there at Surtees. So Armand will now drop down the order into sixth place, and Ati moves himself up into fifth. Robert has had a retirement, so he's now gone back into the pits, back to the front, and it is dust clouds everywhere as Gav has been able to go around the outside of Tyler, and Marius now putting a lot more pressure on Tyler as well. And the longer that Marius is stuck behind Tyler, the longer, well, I say the further that gap becomes between Marius and Gav. Tyler's going to hold that tighter line. Marius is too wide going into turn number one. Marius will carry the speed around the outside now into Druids. Marius had a little look but realized that Tyler was still on the inside, and a snap of the rear there for Marius. Just not able to get that car going in the straight line. The rear just letting go, and that unfortunately is now Marius trying to get that car spun around. Great sideways battle there, or too wide battle I should say. Mafira in second place, and we see Arman, did he manage to keep that off the wall? We'll get a glimpse of the side of that car, and it does look like he has been able to. As Memo now, he gets a little bit of a sideways motion himself. Seven minutes 15 to go, and I think that is me disconnecting. So stand by guys, and I will jump straight back in. But very strange that the disconnection happened like that.
Give it all you can.
So there we go. It looks like the server is still up and running. It was just me for some reason that disconnected. And the current position is Gav running very wide. He is still in first place. Tyler is in second. Gav going wide again. Ronaldo in third. Marius fourth. Ati fifth. Mafira sixth. Adman seventh. Duncan 8th, and Memo down in a 9th position. So 6 minutes left of this race. So just about 4 laps to go, or possibly 5, because I know that Gav was on lap 13. But it all depends whether he'll be able to keep that pace. Just remembering he did start higher up. So had some clear track where now he had to fight his way through the field. So Ati in 5th place is starting to close up onto the back of Morris. We did see a crazy moment at this corner a couple of laps ago, where both Morris and Tyler side by side through the exit, and just as Morris was heading down the hill, the rear just let go and it forced Morris into the barrier. So I do feel for Duncan, he had some really good pace here this evening, and missed out on that podium in the first heat. And just judging by the current state of his car in the actual wars this evening. So Ati over the last split sector, he was a second behind Marius. Let's see what that gap is now when they cross the start finish line. So 0.7, so Ati has made up 0.3 of a second since the last split. As Ati goes sideways, will he be able to keep it off the wall? Yes he does, but that's going to spin in the wrong way. Quick recovery there for him. But he is going to have Mafira now chasing, coming up the hill. There he is there. So Ati will now have released Marius. So lap number 10. Just wanted to jump here to second, third and fourth place, because Ronaldo can just see Tyler Scott now, but now Marius, he can see Ronaldo. With 2.5 minutes left to go, these positions are definitely not confirmed, and anything can happen within the next 2 laps, possibly 3. Gav already on his 11th lap, so once he completes this one, it's going to be tight, but we might get 13 laps in. As Ronaldo goes very wide down the hill at the Graham Hill bend, Marius is going to be able to sneak that podium position from him. So very unlucky there for Ronaldo, and I'm sure jubilation there for Marius, managing to get himself back in a podium position. But is it all over? Is Tyler secured in his second place, or will there be one last throw of the dice here for Marius? Tyler dragging a lot of that outside curb, just kicking up some dust.
Okay, I believe this is the final lap now. Give it what you can.
So we just weren't able to get that last lap in. This is it. So 12 laps will be the race here for the second heat. And Marius is getting very close as Marius spins it around, sees that Tyler makes a mistake. And I almost wondered whether that was just a little sympathy spin there for Marius. Which means that it is Ronaldo that now moves himself up into third place. And Ati chasing down Duncan. As Ati left, right, just managing to catch it. So that's very interesting, because that was Ati actually now going down into 8th place. So Armand a 6th place there for him. Mafira up into 5th. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that result. Gav crosses the line for a back-to-back win there. Tyler, after jumping in and doing a couple of laps practice this afternoon, he will come home in a 2nd place. I'm sure he'll be very, very happy with that. Ronaldo will take that 3rd place away from Marius. Marius will come home in a 4th position. Mafira, he will finish in a 5th. With Armand back-to-back 6th places. Duncan a 7th there for him. 4th in the first heat. And then Ati, he will come home in 8th position. And right at the back, Memo in a 9th place. So guys, we're just waiting for the podium winners to come and join in the Discord, and we do want to have a little chat with them.
Oh, God.
Hello, Tyler.
Hey, my game seems to have frozen.
No, that's okay. We're just waiting for Gav and Ronaldo,
Green light.
and
Give it all
then
you
we
can.
can get going. So just seeing some of the comments, it looks like the reason Jakes did not complete his race is because he landed up disconnecting. And we'll comment there that came from him, will say a little Mary Poppins style that he just started floating into the air. Kind of what we experienced on the stream, where all of a sudden everybody started doing that.
Hello, you guys can hear me?
Yeah, Gavin, we can hear you loud and clear. I don't know if anyone was still in the chat party. If Ronaldo was still there, I don't know if he's seen our request for him to come and join us. Okay, no
Hang on.
Ronaldo.
He just joined us chat. I'm gonna just send him a message. Hang on.
Perfect. Guys, just waiting for Gav to come back, and he will come back with Ronaldo, hopefully. Arman, let's go to you first. You are still in the lobby, and you do like to come and just sit with me while you're racing. 2 6th places there for you, and you got to have a little taste of what it's like to lead the race. What is it like?
Yeah, my heart was pounding. Just try not to screw that up, but yeah, next time we'll do better.
And unfortunately, just not reading up in time. So you land up starting from the pits, but we were able to get you to move to the front and take that starting position. So not for the faint-hearted, is it?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Gav, did you come right there with Ronaldo?
Yeah, his phone's flat, so you cannot join.
Okay, not a problem. Let's go to you, Tyler. A great battle there for you. That second race between yourself and Morris. I could not remember how many corners you guys were going through too wide. It would basically then set Morris up on the inside for the next corner. You go too wide, set yourself up on the inside for the following corner. Just take us through some of that side-by-side battle.
Yeah, well, it started with Gavin and myself first, and I must say it's tough to do it in ACC because the car's there, and then suddenly it's ahead of you, and then it's slightly behind you. So, yeah, still got to get used to that a bit. They move around a bit more because of the server. So, yeah, but it was great racing against Gav and Marius like that. I think we gave each other enough room. There might have been a few times where I thought, might squeeze them out. But, yeah, I try to you know, if I was taking the inside line, keep it as tight as possible and give them the room on the outside. So,
Well,
yeah, it was fun racing until, I don't know really if Marius and I touched or what happened, but I just saw that we suddenly spun, both of us together.
yeah, so just coming out of Druids, what we saw on the stream is that that rear just let go as he was coming onto that power, and you were going straight, and then that rear just kicked for him, and it threw him into the barrier on the inside on the right hand side. So it did look clean from where we were sitting. I'm not too sure if
I hit the barrier on the left hand side.
oh, I didn't see
So
that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm not sure. It's very strange.
Yeah, that is very strange indeed. Well, a great race for you, Tyler, even though you didn't have much time to practice and feeling a little bit under the weather. I think it was a great result for you this evening.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks to the guys. It was actually quite a lot of fun. Now that I've got some settings and stuff going on the wheel and that, it's definitely starting to get better.
No, absolutely awesome. Well done. And then Gav, back-to-back wins there for you. A great start in terms of the first heat. Coming through the pack in the second heat, a little bit difficult this time round. A lot more close battles, but then once you got yourself in the front, I'd say it was an easy win for you.
Yeah, I think the first race I touched Marius right at the start, and I think he went off and he took out Jake, so, you know, massive apologies there. It was just really, we were like so close to each other, it's bound to happen, but anyway. Yeah, well, after that, it was just, you know, keep it clean and off you go. Pretty much the same one. I was 6, and there was a lot of dramas happening in front of me. Yeah, and I got clean through that. And then a bit of a battle there with Tyler, which was great. Tyler kept it clean, and myself, and yeah, it was really good.
It was absolutely awesome to watch, and you will see that if you do go back and watch the stream, there was a couple of times where we came and just saw how you were doing, and then all of a sudden there we see Gav going into the bushes, so Big Brother is always watching.
It's such a difficult track. You know, you make the slightest mistake, and I mean, this is a raw car. It's got no traction control, no ABS. You know, then you have to deal with this track as well. It's very bumpy, and then you've got these guys running around as well. So yeah, it's not easy. It was not easy. Yeah, mistakes happen, all of them.
No, absolutely awesome. Well done, Gav. Back-to-back wins there for you, so it's definitely going to assist in terms of your championship standings. We will get those sorted out for you tomorrow.
None of us are giving up. We're coming for Jake's.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for joining. To everyone who joined us on the stream, thank you so much. We always do appreciate everybody who joins. To the guys that assisted in just getting the servers up and running, thank you very much for your help, both Tyler and Memo in the background. And we look forward to seeing you guys on a Monday night. And then don't forget, that is round number 6 for our project cars. And man, do we have a cracker. That will be the Super V8 around Rapuna Park on Monday. And then when we go on a Thursday night, that will be around number 6. We will be going to Paul Ricard for the round 6 of the our Porsche Sprint Cup. And I see that the weather is rain probable, so anything can definitely happen there. So guys, thank you very much. We will see you then, and until then, all I can say is